What's up guys, I'm Nick Conti, and in this video, we're gonna go over how to be a disciplined trader. Now, I know this is a topic people talk about a lot, but I feel like they don't get down to the root cause of why people aren't disciplined traders. So let me break it down. The main reason that you might not be a disciplined trader is because you don't trust in your rules implicitly. You don't fully trust your strategy, you don't fully trust your rules, you don't fully trust yourself being good enough to be able to execute on your strategy and be profitable over time. This all boils down to trust. Discipline, the root of discipline is trust. Because in order to be disciplined, you need to trust that being disciplined is going to get you the outcome that you want. So say you took back-to-back losses. Your rule is that you don't take more than 2 losses on the day, but you end up taking another one anyway. And then that trade ends up turning out to be another loss. And then you go on tilt because you broke your rule of not taking more than 2 losses to try to recover from the previous losses. And then you don't want to face the consequences of your own actions. And that ends up to you blowing your account for the day. Most likely possible psychological root cause of why that happens is because it goes back to my original point of not trusting your rules and yourself and your strategy to be able to make that money back on another day. You want that instant gratification. You're trying to avoid that type of pain. And then you're internalizing it as pain. But that's a whole other point in itself. If you can implicitly trust that your strategy is profitable, that your rules will keep you profitable, that you can execute on your strategy when your setup comes in the right market conditions, you will be okay. You'll know you'll be okay. And you'll know that you can walk away when you have those 2 losses back to back and be done for the day. And in order to build that trust, you absolutely need to be backtesting more. I know almost every person that watches this video is not backtesting every single day. I backtest every single day. It may not be 2 to 3 hour sessions plus every night, but I'm backtesting at least 30 minutes plus every day. That have to be. You've got to be constantly looking at how the charts move, looking at where your setup forms, looking at where to executing, practicing executing, not only practicing seeing your setup, but practicing actually executing on it and seeing how it all plays out so that you could have that visual muscle memory for when the time comes to actually start trading for the day. It's so important, guys. The data is important too, but I'd say it's more for the muscle memory that makes it so important to backtest. Because otherwise you're going to be more hesitant. And that's where it comes back to the trust, right? You're going to be more hesitant because you don't trust your strategy. You don't trust yourself to be profitable based off executing on your strategy, especially if it ends up being a loss. This is how you build trust. Discipline is rooted upon having trust. And in order to build that trust, you need to be able to backtest your strategy and constantly put in the work to get better as a trader. Now, how else do you get better as a trader? Having a nightly and morning routine. Nightly meaning looking at the charts, having some type of game plan going into the next day. Because if you try to formulate the game plan in the morning, it's going to be tougher to even remember when the time comes to actually trade it, if it even occurs. But doing the game plan the night before, or at least getting some type of sentiment, whether it's bullish, bearish, or we're staying in a range, and knowing how to play your strategy based off that. Also with levels marked out, super important to have that going into the morning. You could always just do it in the morning. I mean, I personally like to do it at night and then readjust for the morning based on how price moved or whatever. But having it in the night is super helpful because at least you could wake up already having a game plan in mind, you know? So having the routine, morning, eating breakfast, pre-market planning, all that good stuff. Going to the gym maybe, whatever. With all that being said, you can have all that in mind or all that set ready to go, but still break your rules. There's always going to be that day where you slip and go on tilt. It happens. Unfortunate circumstances arise in our trading every now and again, and it can be really hard to hold back previous bad habits that you had from either revenge trading, chasing other trades, over trading, trying to recover from mistakes you made. Like say you made profit, but then you saw your setup again, and then you lost some of that profit from that following trade, and now you're trying to get it back, and then you lose even more trades. Now you can say to yourself, oh, I'm so undisciplined. Why did I do that? Oh, I'm such an idiot, whatever. Those days are just gonna happen. But being able to practice being disciplined by trusting in your system, your setup, and your execution as a trader, and being profitable as a trader is what's going to be able to prevent those tilt days, those blowing account days from happening consistently. Because a lot of you guys will blow accounts like 2-3 days a week like it's nothing. You got to be able to minimize those days to where it's like 1 to 2 times a year max. That's the level you should be striving for. And in order to get to that, it goes back to my first point, which is building trust in yourself as a trader as a whole. Your system, strategy, everything. So trust. And the next one, adaptability. Adaptability is what's going to make it that much easier to be able to trust in your system and setup and be disciplined as a trader as a whole. What do I mean by being adaptable? Being adaptable in the sense that your strategy or setup might thrive in one market cycle, but then totally be garbage dog water in the next. Where if you have a strategy that relies solely on the trend, like if you only trade the orb with the breakout, like trend days, that strategy usually works pretty well. But if we're in a market, if we're in a range like chop like that, and you're going for the breakout, you're just going to be left with blue balls, and then your account's going to be blown, and you're going to be feeling like a total fool. The market's not always going to be the way it's been the past few months, guys. We're not always going to have this volatility. If you back test in like 2022 or 2020, before the big boom of COVID or whatever, you're going to see a lot of this. We don't like trading in this. Or especially, forget even 2020, almost every summer. Almost every summer that I back tested, it's been like this. Just chop, 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 chop. I could do that all day long out of frustration. Chop is not fun. So you got to be able to adapt when the market's choppy. Cut down the amount that you're trying to make. Like instead of going for a home run of 100 points plus, you could keep it at like 10 to 20 points plus on NQ. And I'm only talking about futures here. Options, more nuanced, whatever. You got to be able to make these adjustments. You got to be adaptable. You got to be able to trust yourself. And it's going to be a lot easier to trust yourself when you know that you're adapting to the current market conditions, the overall economic news and market sentiment of how people are feeling, and being able to decipher how the market's going to move and then adjust your strategy based off that. Granted, you're not always going to be right, but at least you'll have that strong trust to, even when you're wrong, you'll be able to manage your risk, be adaptable to the changes in the market, and continue being profitable. That is how you be a disciplined trader, my friends. The slip-ups may come from time to time, but as long as you stay true to yourself, you stay true to your strategy, you stay true to being adaptable to the market, you will be successful over time. Those tilt days will not be as bad as you think. You'll be able to walk away way quicker. You'll be able to minimize the damage, and you'll be able to be that much of a savage as a trader. I promise you. You got this. The longer I've been trading, the more I realized a lot of what good trading is just not doing the stupid stuff. It's just making the right moves and cutting out the wrong moves. That's literally it. Like over leveraging in bad market conditions, or if you're trading solely off emotion, if you stop doing those things and you solely trade with a strategy that's profitable, you're kind of set. Like over a period of time, like there's going to be times where you have losing streaks. Everyone knows that when it comes to strategies and data. But that's literally all it takes, guys. Build your understanding of the market, build your understanding of your strategy, yourself, and that's what it takes to be successful. And that's how I'm going to conclude this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching. I got plenty more videos like these coming out real soon. I'm Nick Conti Trades. Like, subscribe, comment, whatever you got to do, and stay tuned. Peace.